Hi friends, it's Miss Cooper. Today we're learning a lesson on context clues. Today you will be a word detective. Good readers use context clues when they come across new words. So we're going to find meaning to unfamiliar words, words you don't know. First, you have to look all around to find clues to the meaning of the word. Our first strategy we're using is find a synonym. If you remember from school, synonyms are words that have the same meaning. So some examples of synonyms are children and kids, those mean the same, and present and gift, those mean the same. A lot of times authors are going to give you hints to figure out the meaning to unknown words. So let's look at our first example. The homework was more complicated or difficult than she had first thought. We're looking at this word complicated. Do you see another word that has the same meaning as complicated? Let's put on our thinking caps. Okay, if you said difficult, you are right. And you know when something is difficult, it is hard for you. So we're going to put it back in the sentence and see if it makes sense. The homework was more hard or difficult for her than she had first thought. If that makes sense to you, give yourself a pat on the back. So complicated means it is difficult or challenging or hard. Our next strategy that we can use is find an antonym. Just like we found a synonym that means the same, antonyms are opposite meanings. So here's a chart with some antonyms. I'll give you, for example, you can read it with me: up, down, happy, sad, right, left, correct, wrong. You know these words are opposites. So let's look at our sentence, and right now we're going to find the opposite meaning to figure out the word. Even though some of the dogs are very docile, others were very mean. Okay, let's look at these keywords. Very mean. Others were mean. So that means the other dogs were very, what do you think? If you said nice or gentle, that would make sense. Let's put it back in the sentence. Even though some of the dogs were very nice or gentle, others were very mean. Okay, good job. We figured out that word. Let's look at our next strategy, which is find an explanation. The word might be explained in the sentence before or after the unfamiliar word. We can also look at pictures to decide what the meaning of a word is. Lori was so exhausted she could barely keep her eyes open. Okay, we're looking at this word, exhausted, and we're seeing that the meaning is she could barely keep her eyes open. So, what do you think exhausted means when you can barely keep your eyes open? Let's think. Okay, if you said tired, you are correct. Let's go ahead and put that word back in the sentence and see if it makes sense. Lori was so tired, she could hardly keep her eyes open. Does that make sense to you? Good job. That means that we figured out that word. So, lastly, we're going to find an example in the sentence. Sometimes, right after the word, an example will be given. Let's look at this sentence. Celestial bodies, such as the sun, moon, and stars, can be seen in the sky. Well, we have an example right here, such as. Those words mean sun, moon, and stars. That would mean that celestial bodies such as, or for example, the sun, moon, and stars. When it has words like such as or for example, that means that the definition is given right there. So we know celestial bodies are the sun, the moon, and the stars. Okay, just like last time, you can get out a piece of paper or a journal and write these notes down so you can have them to look at. Context clues and what that means. Clues that good readers use to find the meaning of unknown words. We're going to look for pictures, helping words you know, examples and definitions, and synonyms and antonyms, just like we went over. You can pause this right here so you could take some notes for yourself. Okay, now it's time to do your activity. I want you to select a book you want to read, either from Mayan or something at home, and you're going to be figuring out words that you don't know, and you're going to be using all of these strategies that I have taught you today. Remember, if you don't know the meaning of the word, look at what is happening in the text and look for clues. Okay, so I want you to pick at least two words you don't know. I want you to write the word that you don't know. I want you to write clue words from the text.